What a lovely self-empowered woman and 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, your lovely host here, knows is that one, you're fulfilled. I'm fulfilled when you have your inner child out to play. So no trauma charges lingering, no unworthiness. You know how to love yourself first. It's called integration of the brain and restorative embodiment. I'm also attachment trauma informed. Being a functional adult is easy because I have secure attachment. I got lucky with a home that got to let me be a child. And here's what a woman who's empowered also knows. Besides what you want, I've known what I've wanted since I was a kid. We know no confusion. While I do know Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing, and great therapist who shares confusion is often protection for childhood trauma survivors. Yes, I meet a lot of men and women, and days, no, I don't know any days personally, but I know a lot of people that are in fact not self-empowered, women and men, and the 4D mystics are part of that crew. The disappearance of men, this really great video interview with an author journalist. Her name is Christine something on Big Think. Anybody who cares to watch it, it's very good. Shares with you why we have stuff going on, but really what I also want to say is that an empowered woman knows exactly what a man can become. Since a teenager, I was very much not into stereotypes or generalizations or any of that which dumbs down men. Okay, so the thing is, though, all the men say, you know, you're a woman, and as long as we have those types of men, so it's not really that men cannot become, is that the stereotypes, let me get to also backtrack. I became for a little bit a feminist because I was told I would not be given the same rights that men and da-da-da. Okay, so on that note, while some people believe in conspiracies, I studied political science, and I'm a person who likes to get educated, and I also don't believe in not using my two hands to do things. So I can use my brain effectively, and in fact, we do personal development here. So what I'm trying to get to with this episode, and we're going to have an extended one that is going to be from the computer. Right now I'm on my phone, and I'm trying to also share time, so short videos and longer videos. But essentially, why is an empowered woman fulfilled? Because I don't have an inner child who has shame. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old that has no trauma charges lingering, because once I got to my 16 years of age, my fight response isn't what's leading me. So I'm not a Cusco, and I'm not a squirrel, and I'm not an ignorant human being. Essentially, I see a lot of ignorant people. They all are part of the scale of evil, Michael Stone, including 4D and 3D. So 4D mystics, they're going around talking about spiritual warfare. 3D keeps on bringing up biblical texts in ways that are absurd, including yoga brings demons out of you. Seriously. Okay, so we have a lot of people who like trending topics. Are you surprised? I'm not, because again, as a teenager, I didn't do trends. And in fact, as a teenager, I chose very easily what I was going to do, which is, thank you, Jesus, is love and kindness. I don't have trauma charges. I don't have childhood trauma. I didn't hold my emotions back, okay? So I actually watched this pastor do something. I watched all of his season of whatever it is that he does, which is ridiculously ridiculous, and I just kept getting so enraged by the minute because he was dumbing down men. And then when I see the men that are my age, 44 is my age, and then when I see about 30-ish-year-old men and I hear them continuing to perpetuate the aspect of their dumbness, I'm saying, okay, the influencers that are out there are doing a really great job, but they're doing one thing wrong, is actually trying to support men to figure out that they don't lead with only one organ, is how I'm going to put it. And then again, you know, it's one of those things where they will talk about the brain, right? I looked into that a little bit by chance. And neuroscientifically, when I learned about the composition of the human being man brain, and I'm not a neuroscientist, but I have enough of interpersonal neurobiology. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. I am, again, attachment trauma informed, so I have different types of courses. Mindsight Institute is one of the best places that I was able to find out more about our brain. So that's why I know I'm integrated. All hands on deck, because my left is chit chatter. My right, all the emotions that come up. So here's where you are seeing a whole self right now. This is empowerment. It's not me talking down to you, talking up to you. In fact, it only triggers the insecure human being, man, women, days, anyone. Attachment, envy, attachment, jealousy. Oh, and for 5D mystics, there's no saga with your twin flames. That's only if you are an insecure human being who's still trying to attach to somebody. And at that point, you might as well go get good therapy and stop thinking about keeping your attachment wounds, because it's torture here, not for any one of us. You're going to be tortured while making up some bullshit story about people being fucked up, which is a lame ass excuse for let me not do emotional work. Not to mention, it's not even an excuse, is you are not using, I think, your brain to understand, because you can't feel the difference. Of course you can't. I know the difference because I'm a restorative embodiment. So I know how easy it is to love and be in, relationships and not fall out of love because I'm not in my sympathetic. So it's like math. To me, you're smart when you can understand this. You either have belief systems or you can listen to data. Flat earthers exist, like 3D, 4D, and anybody who wants to bring me stereotypes and tell me that men lead with one organ. This is bullshit. Because anytime I meet any man, they're not that dumb. So when I was watching this whole human being, whoever he is, compare men and women, and I'm seeing all these people dumb as shit, and then I'm like, really? I'm not the smartest person. This is not possible. So the only difference that I can share with you all, my lovely listeners and viewers, is integration of the brain, which wasn't hard, was not, because I'm a whole 3-year-old heart. Never stopped loving myself first. In fact, my worth doesn't depend on a man. Doesn't depend on anyone. It's a very straightforward thing. It's called healthy self-worth. And the only reason I can be here and speak in a very empowering way as a grown-up finally, because teenager Maria didn't have detachment trauma information. So I just said, why can't you be yourself? In fact, Bezel van der Kolk answered my one question: why is it so hard for people to just speak to your face? Men, women, days. Again, I don't know any days, but you better bet those 7 to 14 charming don't count, because they're a bunch of bullshitters, grandiose, who need even more therapy, but their child would be screaming bloody murder, which is basically hell here. So the part about hell is not out there. It's here. When you have people with dissociative identity disorder, they got an inner war between their inner children going on. And while people want to keep saying demons come out of the body of a person, no, it's trauma charges, trauma memory, and Patrick McNamara, a neuroscientist. So when people care about what they do, I care about personal development. But see, my objective is you can be you. So I just began to learn about attachment trauma because in the last, 10-ish years, at least for me, I was made accessible, these courses that then helped me to understand just how much, when you do not understand how confusion protects a childhood trauma survivor. And any person that was a child that got yelled at for screaming, you were fear-mongered. You don't understand just how much your 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, I do. Because the minute anyone wants to get pissy around me, I'm gone. I'm leaving. Bye. They call it fear. I call it, no, my inner child is here, and there's no reason for you to be in your sympathetic. There's not a line that's getting ready to pounce you. You want an ancient silverback. So the men that keep dumbing each other down, yeah, they don't understand how a human embodied brain works, and they don't want to believe it. The women, now let's not go there, because see, as an empowered woman, when I see women that actually come to me, because we're going to talk about this too, with their projections, which are their triggers, which are their insecurities, and they're pointing a finger at another human being called man, and the actuality is that they're interacting each with maladaptive child behavior. Because see, when you're reactive, you're going to not be able to have what is called a conversation. Okay, so one, a woman that's empowered and a mystic, 5D is fulfilled because one, I have Christ consciousness. I didn't need Sadhguru, but thank you, Sadhguru, for being out there. I really love how you know how to share, how our contribution is how you live, how joyful you are. Everything has an impact. You can only be joyful if you get that inner child. So trauma, EMDR, child parts work, somatics, it's not exaggerated. It's actually, you don't understand that the 0 to 8-year-old people who are not attachment trauma informed, the ones who come to my courses, they all seem to be wanting to tell people how to live life. Another bunch of Elsa journeys versus notice, are you empowered yet? And it is about what you bring to the table. Because if you can't notice when you're emotionally triggered, meaning projecting negativity and getting angry and upset, you're still a teenager. It's different to get passionate because see, I can continue to talk versus get insulting, shame, blame, fault, revenge. So men, women, days can be fulfilled and empowered and can actually follow a straight line because of integration of the brain. Because your left is your friend and your right isn't overwhelmed. Until that happens, you're not an emotionally mature person. You're not an empowered self. You're not a whole self. So we can all together be smarter for real, not pretend. Tune in for more.